Welcome back to another episode of Bob Cooks Everything. Today we are going to be cooking up a one-pan chicken dinner. Here's what you're going to need. We're going to start off with some fingerling potatoes. You can absolutely use any regular potato and just cut them up smaller. We got some baby carrots. And then we're also going to need one medium sweet onion and probably about 6 cloves of garlic. So to start off, I'm just going to be cutting my carrots in half. We are going to be cooking our chicken and vegetables in the pan and then also in the oven, so you can keep them pretty big, but you don't want them to be huge. That's why the baby carrots are a good size just to cut in half. Once we have our carrots cut up, I'm going to take my fingerling potatoes and cut them in half. Some of them are a little larger, so I cut them in half both ways to make the cooking more even. So we're just going to go through and cut all of these up. Now that we have all of our potatoes cut up, we're going to move on to our medium-sized onion. I'm going to cut off the ends. Then we're just going to give it a chop right down. It doesn't have to be too even. They're going to get cooked down into the sauce anyway. We're going to use that whole medium-sized onion. Throw all these into some bowls. And we're going to move on to our garlic. I have about 6 full-size cloves here, and I'm just going to chop it up. Going to chop it up both ways. You don't really need to mince it and make it super small. They are going to get cooked down and used for the sauce. Now for the star of the show, we have our bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs. I'm just going to season these up real simple with some salt, pepper, and some paprika for color. Once your chicken's nice and seasoned, we're going to preheat our oven to 450 degrees and we're going to start working on our sauce. Starts off, we have some low sodium soy sauce. You could also use coconut aminos if you want a healthier option, but we're going to use a good amount of this, probably about 3/4 of a cup. Once we have our soy sauce in, we're going to throw in some honey. We're going to go ahead and squeeze in half of our lemon. And then we're going to go ahead and mix that up. Take out any seeds and you're good to go. Now we're going to preheat a cast iron on medium-high. And I threw in some avocado oil here. You can use olive oil, but I like the avocado because it has a high smoke point, so you can get a good crispy sear on that chicken skin. And we're going to throw all of our chicken thighs in, skin side down. We're going to let those crisp up and get nice and golden brown. Probably about 2-3 minutes on the skin side. While they were down, I threw on some salt and pepper. I'm really just looking for that golden brown. As you can see, we got it here. Then you can flip your chicken thighs. We're only going to cook it on the other side for about a minute or so. Give it a little bit of color. We don't want to cook our chicken thighs all the way through, as we are going to throw them in the oven later on. After about a minute or two, we're going to take our chicken thighs off the heat. And next we're going to be working on our vegetables, so I threw in a pat of butter and mixed that around, trying to pull off some of that good crispy chicken off the bottom of the pan, deglaze a little bit. And then we're going to throw in our vegetables. Now if you're using a normal potato, I would recommend cutting them a little smaller. These were a little big, so I did have to cook them longer. We're probably going to saute these around for about 5 minutes. We don't want to cook them all the way through as everything's going in the oven. But you want to get some color on everything, cook it a little bit, and then you could toss that to the side. Next, we're going to start working on our sauce. We're starting off with a little bit more butter, and we're going to throw our onion in. Mix that around, let it sweat a little bit, get some color. And then we're going to throw in all that delicious garlic. Let that get incorporated. A good way to know when your garlic is ready, once you get a good garlic aroma, it's pretty much good to go. You don't want to overcook your garlic. And then we're going to throw in our sauce and let that reduce for about probably a minute. Mix it around so it doesn't get stuck to the bottom of your pan. And next we're going to take some chicken stock, probably about a half cup, and throw that into our sauce and continue reducing. You don't want to reduce too much because you do want a good amount of sauce in your pan. So once you reduce for a couple minutes, we're going to throw in our chicken thighs. We're going to do skin side up because we want that skin to get nice and crispy in the oven. Then we're going to throw in our veggies in between our chicken thighs. I moved my veggies around so that the skin of my chicken thighs were still exposed, because at the end of this baking process we are going to broil a little bit to get everything nice and brown. So once we have everything in our pan and our oven is preheated at 450, we are going to throw it in there. Now I cook this for about 20 minutes on 450, and then for the last 10 minutes I throw it up to broil to get everything nice and brown on top. Another way to check your chicken is 160 degrees internal temperature, but if you cook it this way, 20 minutes plus that 10-minute broil should have it nice and perfect. This meal is delicious. It was actually super cheap, and I hope you enjoy making it. Thank you for watching.